What's going on, y'all? We are getting ready to go live in about 1 minute and 30 seconds. God bless all of you. Thank you so much for being here. My stream from earlier this morning, guys, something happened to it. I had to take it down. So we're going to do this. We're going to go over my thoughts. I'm going to mark out some levels. I'm going to talk about what I think is going to happen with the Bitcoin price. We're going to take a look at Ethereum. We're going to take a look at some other altcoins and just analyze the market as a whole. God bless all you guys. I will be right here in 1 minute. All right. God bless all of you guys and welcome. Welcome. FOMO into the like button, y'all. FOMO into the like button. We've got about 185 people in here, only a few likes. All right, guys. So what I want to do is I want to talk about this Bitcoin dump. I want to talk about the Bitcoin price. Let me put on some regular candles so that we are not looking at the hike in a she. Because as you know, I'm not a big fan of the hike in a she candles. All right, guys. So what is going on? We are on the 4-hour time frame, and a few things I want to point out. It looks like we have officially found some kind of support right along this area, okay, for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles, okay? That's about 20 hours or so on the 4-hour time frame. Well, not quite yet 20 hours, but for quite some time, we have been finding our support right here. We have not been able to really go lower, have a candle close lower than 53.3 thousand, and I think this is very significant. Also, on the 4-hour time frame, we are currently printing a bottom with a big green dot. Now, this momentum wave that we are printing on the 4-hour time frame, guys, is actually the lowest 4-hour momentum wave we have had in a very, very, very long time. In fact, we have not had a wave this low. We can zoom back. Since last year, the Corona dump is the last time we had a wave this low. And so just to point out something historical and factual, the last time we had a wave come this low, it was the biggest Bitcoin bounce in pretty much all of Bitcoin history. And from that Corona dump, it was just a massive uptrend from that point. So let's mark out some daily levels. What we want to do is we want to lay out some market structure. We want to give ourselves some levels that we can look at from which we can base our trading off of. Because when we're trading, we always want to make sure that we have a reference point. We want to have areas on the chart that when price gets to those areas, we become very interested in trading. We don't just want to long and short randomly. We don't want to go based off emotion. We don't want to willy-nilly enter into a trade, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the daily time frame. And let me just close off some of these indicators for a second down here because I want to have more space on the chart to kind of see. I'm going to make Market Cipher be really skinny for us. And what we want to do is we just want to look on the daily chart, and we're going to start over to the left, and we are going to mark out some daily support and resistance levels, and these are going to be the foundation for our trading plan, because now that prices come down so low, to the 55, 54, even the $51,000 level, we need to know what our plan is, right? Are we going to be longing? Are we going to be shorting? And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. We're going to start with Bitcoin. We're going to go look at some other coins as well. So what we're going to do is we are going to find areas where the price has historically found a sticking point. We're going to start to the left. And the first place that I really see right here is about the $40,500 level. I'm going to go ahead and put a horizontal line here. I'm going to go ahead and make this line orange. Our daily lines are going to be orange. And what I'm simply doing here, guys, is I'm finding areas where there's been a lot of liquidity in the past, right? When price is trading along a certain line, it means there's a lot of buying and selling going on in this area. And so inevitably, price will tend to retrace back to this area. We can see right here, this orange line was resistance for 4 days in a row, and then it was resistance again, and then it was resistance again almost a whole month later. And so we're marking out these lines because we know price is going to retrace back to those areas. And so we're looking for the candle bodies opening and closing along one line. I see one right here at about 40,500. I see one right here at about 44,800, give or take. And again, I'm marking this line because it was support for 1, 2, 3, 4 days, and then it was support again, it was support again, support again, support again. Let's see what other ones I can see here. The $48,000 level. The $51,400 level right here, which we almost wicked down to and touched. And guys, this is what I mean by the price will retrace to these areas. The market will remember that there was a lot of buying and selling happening here, right here on this line. And so the whales, what they'll do is they will push the price up or down to come back to these areas so that large buy and sell orders can get filled, right? In order for a large buy order to get filled right down here, the price had to come back down to this area because the market remembered there was a lot of liquid assets on the exchanges during that time. Of course, this is the ByBit chart here. And as soon as we get down to this zone of liquidity, look what happens. It gets all bought up. And really, when we're marking these levels, we can think of them more as zones. Okay, we can think of them more as zones. Instead of being actual lines, we can draw a box around them. And we can consider them more as liquidity zones or buy zones. We can think of them as buy zones if we're looking to long. And so I'm going to mark out a few levels. Let me pop in the chat real quick just to make sure everything is kosher. Is everything kosher, guys? Can you all hear me and everything? Cool. Cool. I guess I did. I got the internet virus from CryptoFace. Is it laggy for anyone? It's a little laggy. Frozen. Huh. Interesting, interesting. Interesting. All right, guys, then give me 1 second here. I'll be right back. Let me go check on something. I'm going to check on something. I'll be right back. Okay, everything's okay. It got better. Seems fine. Tickle Bear. Shout out to Tickle Bear. I love your name, Tickle Bear. All right. So as I was saying, guys, we're marking out zones of liquidity. We're establishing a market structure from which we can trade. And the way we're doing that is we're looking to the left of the chart on the daily time frame, and we're going to find areas where the candles have opened and closed, and we're going to mark those areas. We're going to mark those areas. I see one right here at about 55.8. I'm going to mark that right there. We have one here at 57.4. We have one as well at 61.4. 61.4 is a level that I've been using to trade. It's not necessarily, it's a level I've been using as of recently to trade here. And then, of course, we have the level right here at 59. So these are going to be the levels that I'm looking at when I am, of course, I'm sorry, we also have the $54,000 level. And so what I'm doing here, guys, is I'm marking out levels of support and resistance where price tends to find a sticking point. And when we come down to the 4-hour time frame, you can see that really every time we come down to one of these levels, price has some kind of reaction. For example, when we come down to this support here, what happens? We get a bounce off of it. When we come down to this support here, we get a bounce off of it. We come down to this support, we get a bounce. Come down to this support, we get a bounce. We come down to this support here, we get a bounce. Come down to this support here, we get a bounce. And so this is giving us areas to look at, and when we see price getting down to one of these areas, we need to get interested in a trade. And what we're going to do once price does come to one of these areas is we're going to look at Market Cipher, we're going to look at some other indicators, and we are going to determine, is price indeed going to bounce off of one of these levels, or is price going to continue downward? Now we've come to a very crucial point right here where we're trying to reclaim this 55.8 resistance level as support. Now I posted in my Discord, in my trading Discord, I'm going to move this up to 55.8, that I was getting interested in a trade right at 55.8 because there was a lot of momentum that was coming up. But I wanted to see us come and reclaim that 55.8 resistance as support. And what I'm really looking for, guys, is I'm looking on the lower time frames to see if we have that upward direction. Now the 4-hour time frame is telling us that we are getting upward momentum. So this is very significant because we can go back in time and see pretty much every single time we come down to one of these support levels, and the 4-hour time frame is printing a green dot with a big green bottom below the -60 line on Market Cipher B, we get some kind of a bounce. So right here was a great example. We got this nice move up. Right down here, another example. We get a nice move up there. And so right here, another bottom is being printed. But what am I waiting for? I would really like to see us able to reclaim this 55.8 level of resistance as support before we look to enter. Now, personally, I was long this morning. I longed from 54.6, I think, and my take profit was up here at 55.8 because I knew that was the next resistance. But I didn't have a lot of confirmations to enter that trade. It was really just because I had an opportunity to buy low, so I went for it at a level which I've been waiting for quite some time, which was the $54,000 level. Now, if we are unable to hold this level of $55,800, we have been in a downtrend for quite some time. We have our all-time high, then we have a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, and here's the thing. If we cannot reclaim this resistance as support and form a higher high from here, we're going to form a lower low. And that would mean more downward direction. And so if we lose the level down here of $54,000, then we're going back down to the $51,500 level. If we lose that, we're going down to the $48,000 level. And if we lose that, we're just going to keep going down level to level. And it is very possible that we actually come down to the $40,000 level. And the reason for that is because, like many people have been watching, the rising wedge that a lot of YouTubers have been talking about, where we have this kind of pattern forming here, and then on the bottom we were coming up like this. And if we take from the top of the wedge to the bottom of the wedge, and we draw it here, we get to the $48,000 level. And of course, if we lose this, there's no other support in between 48,000 and 40. So it's possible that we could go down there. I don't think we're going to go down there, guys. To be totally honest with you, I really don't think we're going to lose all those levels of support. So what I'm doing now is I'm waiting for price to find a resting place in one of these areas. Right now, the area that I'm eyeing up the most is this general area. If we can find a resting place here, and we can reclaim this resistance as support at 55.8, because we are getting so much momentum on the 4-hour time frame on Market Cipher B, it is a very logical area to enter a long position. It is a very logical area to enter a long position, because what we want to do is we want to stack the probabilities in our favor. And we know we can look back in time, and every time we come down to a daily level support where Market Cipher B on the 4-hour is printing a bottom with a big old dot, we get some kind of a move up. We get some kind of a move up. Every single time we get some kind of a move up. Like back in February, we had this huge dump. We accumulated, consolidated right here. We found a resting place for 1, 2, 3, 4 candlesticks. We started to print a bottom on Market Cipher B, and then we had a nice move up. And this move was, about 13%. And then later on in February, we have another bottom with a big green dot on Market Cipher B. And we kind of find a resting place on this support right here. And then what happens? We have a move upward about 17%. So we just dumped, which means the price is low, right? Even though it's kind of ironic, right? Because we have a $55,000 Bitcoin, which seems low for us. But guys, if we zoom out, this is still a very high Bitcoin price. Bitcoin at $55,000, that is insane, especially since a year ago, what were we? 4,000? I'm sorry for everybody who got wrecked. I'm sorry to Vince Pezzi, who's about to lose his whole trading account. Vince, I know the feeling, man. I know the feeling. You got to take it as a learning experience, bro. You have to take it as a learning experience, because that happens to everybody. It happened to me. When I first started trading, I lost a lot of money. You got to take it as a learning experience. You need to reverse engineer what you did so that you never do it again. Were you over leveraging your account? Did you have a plan when you were entering your trades? Were you using good technical analysis, or were you FOMOing into longs and shorts? These are all things we need to take into account. And guys, FOMO into the like button of this video. PayPal actually just announced the launch of checking out with Jason, a new way for PayPal customers to check out with Jason Casper's like button for select online purchases. So the like button, unlike Bitcoin, is going to the moon. And guys, also, if you want to learn this stuff, if you want to learn support and resistance levels, if you want to learn how to use Market Cipher, I do have a course. It's a comprehensive trading course. We go through everything you need to know, and the goal of this course is to get you confident in your trading so that you have your own strategy that you are able to backtest, that you are able to show is profitable, so that you don't have to worry about what anybody else is doing. You don't have to worry about what I'm doing or what CryptoFace is doing or anybody else. You can have your own plan, and you can feel confident longing and shorting and knowing why you're longing and shorting. You don't have to FOMO into anything. You don't have to trade out of emotion. You can just look at your chart and have a strategy. If you're interested in this, there's a link in the description, jasoncaspertrading.com. And we had a question in the chat. Did we not just reject off 55.8? Yes, so we did just reject off 55.8, but here's something that we need to keep in mind. Even though we came up and we did get the rejection off 55.8, which was a nice, you could have had a nice short scalp there. I'm looking at the momentum on Market Cipher B, and it's looking to me like things are ramping up. If we go down to the 12-minute time frame, we can see that we have a very clear direction here, right? We have a very, very clear direction where we also have a money flow crossover, and it looks kind of like things are starting to ramp up. If we print a higher trigger wave here, then it looks like the direction could be going up. So I wouldn't necessarily say that the hope is over yet, okay? What I would say is if we come down and we keep printing lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, then yeah, I would consider that we have not been able to reclaim this level. But for now, I think there's still hope. I think there is still hope. If we look on the 24-minute time frame, you know, we need to cool down a little bit. We need to cool down a little bit, and let's see if we're able to print a higher trigger wave here where we see a clear direction upward with the money flow crossing upwards. If we are seeing this on the lower time frames, then there's a very good chance that we could reclaim that resistance as support. So we need to keep our eyes on the higher time frame. If we lose this green dot on the 4-hour time frame, then yeah, I would not be looking to you know, get in a long position here. But right now we're down to the wire. I would consider us down to the wire where this is the decision point. Are we going to be able to print a higher high and reclaim this as support, or are we going to come down and print a lower low? And once we determine what is happening here, well, then we can actually start to trade this. So what you could have done is when we came up to the 55.8 level and you saw the rejection, you could enter the short position right here and set your take profit down here back at 54,000. You have a really nice stop loss because you just put it behind above the last swing high, and you would have already been in about, you know, 1% profit if you're using leverage, you know, 5x leverage, 5% with this nice little short scalp. The thing I'm seeing right now is the bottom that we're starting to form on these higher time frames, which again, just historically, is a very bullish sign, an extremely bullish sign. And we always experience some volatility there too. Like, check out this bottom here, guys. We printed a bottom here, and while we're printing this bottom, we actually did come down and lose this support level. But then we come back up. If we take a look back here, you know, we can see as we're printing the bottom, we're getting a big purple candle. Over here, we're printing a bottom right after a large purple candle. So these bottoms tend to be very volatile. What I'm really looking for is that we're finding a resting place, some kind of zone where we are able to hold an area. So I don't consider this support necessarily, this resistance to necessarily be lost yet, because the candle, we still have more than halfway to go. And if it can close up above this, then to me, that combined with the fact that we're getting this bullish dot down here on Market Cipher B is an extremely good sign. Some other things to keep in mind, guys. It is the weekend. It is the weekend. So there's a lot of low volume here. A lot of people don't trade on the weekends. Also, we have the whole the CMA futures market is going to be opening up this evening. So there's a lot of things to keep in mind. It's very interesting that the gap this week, the CMA gap, is going to be higher. You know, we closed on Friday at 62,100. 62,100. We come to the Bitcoin chart right now, and 62,100. Wow. I can't even believe Bitcoin used to be that high, guys. Can you believe Bitcoin used to be that high? Seems like a pipe dream now. So I'm going to mark this green line. This is the CME futures gap. And a lot of times these upward gaps do close, guys. A lot of times they do close. So if we do close that gap, we are looking at a 12% move for Bitcoin, which is a massive move for Bitcoin these days, because we haven't been having those insane moves. The altcoins have been having those insane moves. but not necessarily Bitcoin. So how are we going to know? How are we going to know when to finally enter long? Well, there's a few things I look for. The first thing is I look at price. Are we at one of these levels of interest? Are we at one of these daily levels of support or resistance? Right now, we're not really at one of those levels. I would like to see price actually trading on this level or this level. And then what I want to see is I want to see those higher time frames on Market Cipher. I want to see them printing a bottom. So first I want to see price on one of these levels. Then I want to see Market Cipher be printing a bottom on the 4 hour, the 3 hour. And then I want to go back and I want to zoom in to like the 6 minute, the 12 minute. And I want to look to see if I can see some kind of a clear direction upward. What I want to see is I want to see higher highs and higher lows on Market Cipher B. I want to see a money flow crossover. And I want to see this on lower time frames and medium time frames. So I'm going to start by looking at the 6 minute. Then I'm going to go to the 12 minute. Then I'm going to go to the 24 minute. And I want to see all these things happening on all three of these time frames. I want to see something like this, where we have like this on the lower time frames, where we have these bottoms that are getting consecutively higher, and then we're printing higher waves as we're getting a money flow crossover. That's what you want to see. You want to see something like this. Now, yesterday I made a video where I went over some of the trades in my Discord that I post in the private trading Discord, which you can get access to if you become a level 2 Patreon on my Patreon account. There's a link in the description if you're interested in that. But basically, I was showing you guys what I was looking for as I was entering these trades. So I entered a Bitcoin trade down here 2 days ago on Friday when Bitcoin was at $60,747. Wow, can you believe Bitcoin was so high back then? Man, remember the days when Bitcoin was 60,000? So I entered right here. Now, why did I enter right here? This was April 16th at about 8 in the morning when I entered this trade. April 16th, 8 in the morning. Why did I enter this trade? I entered the trade because I saw something, and it's the same exact thing that I'm looking for right now to enter a trade. So let me walk you guys through exactly what you should be looking for when you're looking to find the bottom of a move, so that you can long the bottom and ride it up. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the 4 hour. I'm going to find that trade that I entered, which was April 16th at 8 in the morning, right here. I'm going to put a vertical line right here. Okay, vertical line right here. Notice a few things. On April 16th at 8 in the morning, okay, Bitcoin price was trading around one of the levels that I had marked out on my chart. I had a level marked out right here at about 60,853. It was not a daily level. It was another level of support and resistance at about 60,853. So I'm going to put that level right here, and I'm going to make it yellow because it was one of my 4 hour support and resistances, because you can see that level, there's a lot of liquidity at that level. The candles are opening and closing right here. There's a lot of price action that's wicking up to this area. It was resistance all the way back to the middle of March, and then it became resistance before the big breakout. So I was watching that level, and what did I see? I saw price coming to that level. Price was trading on this exact level. And Market Cipher B on the 4 hour, as you can see, it hadn't yet printed a green dot, but it was starting to print a green dot. We can see the waves are starting to cross under the light blue is starting to cross under the dark blue. So we can zoom in and really see that even though the green dot hasn't been printed yet, we can see it's heading in that direction. We can see it's heading in that direction. And then what I want to do is I want to come to the lower time frame. Okay, let me come down here to the lower time frame, and let me remove my chart marking here, remove the drawings, and I'm going to go to the 12 minute, and I am going to find that same exact time. Got an alert for Tron. I've been trading Tron lately. Okay, select layout. sync on all charts. That's what I want. So as I was entering this trade on the 4-hour time frame, let me come over here to the 12-minute and let's see what we can see. Okay, on the 12-minute, it was abundantly clear that we were printing many bottoms, and then we were printing consecutively higher waves, getting a money flow crossover. Okay, we saw that we were printing a trigger wave up here, then we were printing a trigger wave up here. It was very clear we were getting a money flow crossover. If we zoom in even more to the 6-minute, it just becomes super clear, super clear. Right at the entry point, we were printing these consecutively higher waves, and we're getting a clear direction. So that's what we are looking for when we're trying to find the bottom of a move. We're looking for price to get to one of those levels you have marked out in your chart. Then we're looking for the waves to start to cross over or even be printing a bottom. And then we're going to zoom into the lower time frames, and we're going to be looking for a clear direction upward. And preferably, guys, we will also want to be looking for a bullish divergence. A bullish divergence is where price is coming down. Price is coming down like this, while at the same time momentum on Market Cipher B is moving up like this. That is called a bullish divergence. If you see on the higher time frames that we are forming a bottom, and at the same time you see that price is coming down, yet momentum is going up, and you also see a clear direction where money flow on Market Cipher B is clearly curving up toward the middle of the zero line, and we're printing higher lows on our trigger waves, that's how you know that we have come to a bottom and you should enter. So right now, I don't see all of those things, so I don't necessarily feel comfortable entering the trade, because let's analyze what's going on right now. We are printing a bottom on Market Cipher B on the 4-hour, but we're not really on any of those levels yet. Right now, we're rejecting off of the 55.8 level, which means until we get to this level, or until we get to this level below it, we're not really going to feel comfortable entering a trade, because we want to make sure that when we do enter a trade, we're right on one of these levels so that we have a very clear place to put our stop loss, right? If we come and reclaim 55.8 as our support, we can enter right as soon as we come over there. We put our stop loss right here below the last swing low, and then we take our profits on the way up. If we enter right here in the middle of these two lines, the only logical place to put our stop loss would be down below this support right here. And we don't want that. That's a very large stop loss, a 3.25% stop loss. We don't want to have that kind of risk to reward ratio. What we can do is we can wait until price comes back down to this level, and then perhaps look for a long. So let me give you guys another scenario. You could say also that we have been trading on this level right here, this $54,000 level, for quite some time, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and this could be the 5th candle that comes down to that level. If for 20 hours we are able to hold this level as support, and Market Cipher B is printing this nice bottom for us, perhaps then we can go down to the lower time frames, the 6-minute, and see if we can see something that would make us want to enter the trade. Now, right now, I don't see any kind of bullish divergence. I see the momentum is moving with the price, and really, I don't see any kind of clear money flow crossover yet. Not in the 6-minute. The 12-minute was looking pretty nice here. But now we can see we're curving back down. The money flow is curving back down. So there's nothing that's screaming at me to enter a position right now. What I would probably like to see, guys, is I would like to see us come back down to this level of $54,000 and hopefully see some kind of a bullish divergence on the lower time frames, while the 4-hour Market Cipher B is also still showing us some bottom. And that's where I would like to enter a long position. Now, the $54,000 level, there was a lot of confluence at this level. And this is something that I was talking about quite frequently a few weeks ago, where I was I was really hoping we would get down to this $54,000 level, and this is exactly where we find ourselves today. I remember back here in the beginning of April, I was hoping we would come down to 54,000. We only came down to 55.8. But the reason I wanted to come down to that level is because if we take a look here, and we just draw this trend line, back at the beginning of April, the $54,000 level lined up perfectly with this trend line. But not only that, if we take our fib and we take it from this, we take it from the swing low down here on February 28th to this swing high. Well, right now, the $54,000 level is the 50% of the move. It's the 50% of the move. But at the time, it was another fib level. It was the 618 of another move. Let me see if I can find that move from 50K, I think, to the high. Yeah, from 50K to the high of this move right here, it was also the 618. So I guess that becomes irrelevant nowadays. But there was a lot of confluence at that level, and a lot of people were waiting for us to actually get to this level. So the fact that we are back on this level, in my mind, is very significant. And I will definitely be watching price as we come down to here. If we're able to find that resting place, if we're able to find this resting place, get our momentum on the higher time frames, get our momentum on the lower time frames, then yeah, I would want to. Aharon Hamelech says, "What do I think about Engine?" To be honest with you, Aharon, I don't know much about Engine. And shout out to Oliver Blow-Hewis, who is pointing out that I have a typo on my website. Thank you. I'll have to take a look at that. Daily Red Dot just printed 40K on April 26th. Not sure what you mean there, Swartz88. Maybe you could elaborate. Oh, I see that. Technical. It says time frames. Sorry about that. It would be an M pattern. Let's zoom in here and see if we can see. Yes, this would be that would be an M pattern. But here's the thing. Here is another thing to keep in mind about the M pattern that could be playing out. Market Cipher will keep us out of bad trades, and when we're printing patterns like M patterns, like triangles, like wedges, Market Cipher will tell us which way the momentum is going. It will tell us which way the momentum is going. Now, here's what I mean by that. Let's go back in time, and let's take a look at some previous M patterns that have formed on the chart, like right here. We had a big dump, and we had an M pattern, right? We had an M pattern, but what happened after the M pattern? We got the bounce up. Market Cipher was telling us, as we're forming this M pattern, that we're coming up. So that's why we can't just look at the chart only. We need to look at Market Cipher for confluence. We need to look at Market Cipher for confluence and trade what it's telling us, because it will tell us which way the momentum is going. It will tell us if money is flowing into the asset or not. Mustafa, did we get rejected at 55.8? Yes, but let's see what happens here. I want to see really how low this wave comes down on these lower time frames. I want to see how low that wave comes down. If this wave comes down like this, and we still have this clear direction upwards, and if we see money flow starting to curve upwards, it could very well be that we get some upward direction. I've never seen Market Cipher be on the 4-hour do something like this where we continue downward. I've never really seen that. So it would be very surprising to me if we are now going to lose the $54,000 level. I think right now, if I was a betting man, I would say we are probably going to consolidate here for a little bit, have some sideways movement, and then I would say we get a little bit move upward. move upward. And then perhaps, we'll get rejected at one of these higher levels and come down a little bit lower. But usually what happens, guys, this is a pattern. It's a pattern. We get it to an all-time high, and then we have a massive dump, and then we have a move upwards, and then we have more downward movement, right? That happens a lot. We have an all-time high, we have a massive dump, we have a movement upwards, then we have more downward movement. It pretty much happens every time we hit a new all-time high in this bull market. Back in January, we hit an all-time high, we have a massive dump, we have some move upwards, and then we have some more downward movement. So it really would not surprise me if we hit our all-time high, we have a massive dump, we get a move upwards, and then we have some more downward movement consolidation. That really would not surprise me. That would not surprise me. That seems to be the pattern that is playing out here. But again, we're going to just look at the chart. We're going to watch price as it comes to our levels that we have marked out, and we're going to look at Market Cipher every time price gets to one of those levels of interest. Right? It's just a level of interest, and then we're going to trade what the chart says. Memory Man is thinking down again. Yeah, I mean, we could go down again, right? Anything's possible. Anything's possible. And right now is the moment of decision. Like, what happens to Bitcoin in between these two levels? In between 55.8 and 54K, this is really going to be the moment of decision. If we come down to 54K and we don't see upward momentum on the lower time frames, and if we lose this green dot on the 4-hour time frame, then yeah, we're going down more. But like I said, if we can maintain this level, this area right in here that we've been trading on really since I mean, technically, this dump started happening at 8 p.m. yesterday. So it's been 16, 18 hours that we've been really holding this $54,000 level as support. So, I'm just looking historically at what happens after dumps. We're able to hold certain levels, and then we get a move upward. And after all-time highs, we come down. We're able to hold certain levels, and then we come up, right? Look, all-time high. We come down. We're able to hold a certain level for 5 candles, and then we come up. All-time high. We dump down. We're able to hold this level for almost 2 days, and then we get a move to the upside. We get another dump. We're able to hold this level, and we're not holding it perfectly either. We're not holding it perfectly. We have volatility down here, right? We kind of are fighting with it, struggling with it before we have another move upward. So right now, to me, it looks like we're fighting and struggling, but the higher time frames, like the 4-hour, are telling us, look, we're getting that upward momentum. The 6-hour, looking like it's about to form some kind of big bottom with the money flow curved into the red, which, when we look at the 6-hour, that usually means we're going to get a significant move to the upside. So that's why I'm leaning toward a move to the upside. We just had a massive dump. Everybody who was longing got liquidated, and now we have an opportunity for people to fill huge buy orders. I think this week we're probably going to see, if that CME gap does close, we're going to see Bitcoin come back up to this level up here, this green line up here. And that would kind of fit with previous all-time high and dumps, right? All-time high, dump down, we come up almost to that level. All-time high, we dump down, we come up almost to that level. We'll probably get more downward movement, maybe even come down to test the $48,000 level, and then come back up. That's kind of where my mind is at. And so I'm just keeping my eye on these levels. Right now, my main focus is literally between 55.8 and 54,000. What I do in the future is determined based on what happens at these two levels. If we are able to reclaim 55.8 as support, to me, we're going to get that upward movement. If we lose 54,000 and we come down below, and we reject off of it like that, we are going to get more downward movement. All right, so that's pretty much how I'm feeling about Bitcoin. I'm optimistic. I am optimistic. Shout out to the Beijing King, who got completely liquidated last night for the first time ever because Binance is always having tech difficulties at the most convenient times, taking profit on a coin he 7x'd and tech difficulties. I'm sorry, the Beijing King, to hear about that, man. I apologize on behalf of Binance. I'm sure they didn't mean to do that, but they do always have those issues. They do always have those issues. And it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. At least they're not as bad as Kraken. Kraken, sheesh. Kraken should not even be an exchange. Okay, Duper has a question. Duper says, Jason, when you see divergences on a chart, is there a rule of thumb regarding how long that divergence or momentum has influence on price related to the time of chart? It doesn't really matter, because when we're looking at divergences, you have to remember we're zooming in and out of the same time frame. So if I see a divergence on a 12-minute, I should also be able to see it on a 1 hour, just not as clearly. And really, the thing that we're looking for is the longer the divergence is playing out, then the more powerful that divergence is going to be. Chainlink just has a 4-hour dot printing right here. Chainlink seems to be mirroring Bitcoin, and Tron is doing some crazy things too. What up, Tron? I feel like there's a lot of good buying opportunities here, guys. There's a lot of good buying opportunities. Now, this is a perfect example of a bearish divergence on Tron, where momentum is coming down from April 14th all the way to April 17th, and price is going up from April 14th all the way to April 17th. Right, this is a 3-day divergence that's playing out here. And so, we have this massive drop. The longer the divergence plays out, the more powerful it is, in my mind. But when we're looking to catch a bottom of a move, again, we want to see those divergences on those lower time frames. So again, down here, if we're looking to long this, for example, when we come down to our 6-minute time frame and we scroll back to that area, we can see the divergences playing out, where price is coming down like this, and momentum is coming up like this, where price is forming higher lows, lower lows, and the momentum is forming higher lows. And then we can even extend that out even more, like this and like that, where we can see price is coming down, momentum moving up, and then we start to see really tight trigger waves here and a money flow crossover. And really, as soon as we get that money flow crossover, that's where we start to get the move to the upside, right? So that's really what we're looking for. And this was another example of an M pattern, right? An M pattern that went to the upside. And the way we could tell that this M pattern wasn't going to break down was because we were forming a bottom on Market Cipher B on the 4-hour. We were getting bullish divergences on the lower time frames. And we were getting a clear direction on Market Cipher B with a clear money flow crossover. So those are the things that we are looking for now. And we should be patient and wait for that and not enter a trade until that happens. And, obviously, you can still enter a trade. I entered a trade this morning. And I didn't post it in my trading Discord because I wasn't that confident in it, but it was a nice little scalp. I posted it in the VIP Bitcoin TA, and I don't think I could find it now because it was early this morning. It was early this morning. Let me see where I posted it. Here's where I posted it. I was long from 54,599. And my take profit was right at 55.8. So it was a very small scalp, guys, a very small scalp. And I even took profit along the way. I took profit like right around this area too, because I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't have much confirmation. But that 55.8 level was one I was really keeping my eyes on. Guys, FOMO into the like button, the Jason Casper like button, because PayPal has just announced check out with Jason, a new way for PayPal customers to check out with Jason. Pretty cool, guys. The like button of my video is a commodity that is in high demand, extremely high demand. So don't miss out on your chance to get it. And just a disclaimer, guys, this is not financial advice as usual. This is just entertainment. I'm just a guy on YouTube. And if you happen to mistake this video for financial advice, I guarantee that you will lose all your money, all your Bitcoin, all your fiat, all your friends will stop talking to you. Your parents will stop talking to you. Your children will stop talking to you. As always, you're going to go to Starbucks and you're going to order a large, sorry, did I say large? A grande Americano upside down, and you're going to burn your tongue on it, and it's going to ruin your whole day. You're not going to be able to taste your food for the next 2 days. You're going to have a painful tongue. Life is not going to be fun. All because you thought this was financial advice, guys. Okay, so Carlos has a really good question. He says, and Nick Dugan wants to know, is this financial advice? That's a great question, Nick Dugan. That's a great question. A great question. So, okay. Carlos Vidal Millet says, how do you decide which time frames you're going to use when entering a trade? As sometimes there is confluence between. I think you mean contradiction between. The way I do it is I start with the high time frames. Like I start with like the 4 hour. And if the 4 hour is looking good, if price is trading on one of my levels that I have marked out and it's showing that we've reached a top or a bottom, that's where I'm going to go to the lower time frames and look for an entry. Okay? Now, you have to keep in mind on the higher time frames, we're generalizing. Like, are we generally at a top? Are we generally at a bottom? That's when we're going to look to those lower time frames. Like right up here, we were generally at a top for, this was 16 hours. Generally at a top for 16 hours. And we didn't really start to drop until, we had been printing this red dot for quite some time. So what you want to do at these highs, if you're looking for a short, is you will want to, zoom into the lower time frame, maybe the 6 minute, right? Maybe the 6 minute. And we'll take a look. And what do we see? What do we see on the 6 minute? Well, we see a very clear direction. We see, we don't see too many bearish divergences playing out here, but we do see a very clear direction of, especially right here. Well, let's go to the 12 minute. You have to look around. What you really have to do, guys, is you have to look at multiple time frames, lower time frames, and try and see if you can see something. So like right here on the 12-minute time frame, what do I see? I see a very clear bearish divergence where momentum is coming down while at the same time price is going up. Okay, this is a bearish divergence. Then I see money flow crossing from the green into the red right here. Okay, so for me, this is, okay, we hit this high, we came down, we rejected off that same high while money flow is crossing down. That would be my signal to enter a short position. And contrarily, if we're looking for a long, you look for the exact opposite. But you're not always going to see it on every time frame. That's why we have to go from time frame to time frame. Like I was just looking at the 6 minute, I couldn't see it very well, but on the 12 minute I see it well. On the 18 minute, I see it too. You kind of have to play around with these time frames and see what you can see. Right? On the 10 minute, it becomes very clear. This downward movement, money flow crossing under. Because what we're doing when we're looking at Market Cipher B, guys, we're not just looking at dots and waves. We're looking at this thing as a structure, as one whole entity, where we're outlining pretty much the money flow and the waves to try and capture everything we can And we're going to be able to kind of tell what is happening with the market before it happens, right? While price is still coming up here, we can see our outline that we're drawing on Market Cipher B is coming down. It's coming down. We're watching the money flow come down. So now if we're looking for a long position down here, what we want to do is we want to see the money flow coming up. And what do you know? We're starting to see the money flow come up. It's starting to come up. We're starting to see a very clear direction here on the 10-minute time frame. We're starting to print a bottom on the 4-hour. Okay? So these are things to watch very closely. And depending on, how you like to trade, you might you might be entering a trade. You might be entering a trade. You might be entering a trade. A tra-day, as they say in my country. Because we have this very, very clear direction here. This very, very clear direction. The only thing we don't have, guys, is we don't have the divergence, right? Price is not coming down while momentum is going up. We don't have the divergence. So that is something to keep in mind. However, yeah, we don't have the divergence. Yeah, so Joachim Greslin says, what if Bitcoin breaks support on the weekly chart? Yeah, these are other things to keep in mind, guys. So let me pull up the daily and the weekly. But so right now we have the weekly level. No, I don't want to leave that. I don't want to leave that. Are you is the weekly level you're talking about the 50,000.9? Like right down here? Because if we break below this level right here, that would be very significant. Let me turn on Market Cipher A. Really, guys, if we're on the daily time frame, as long as we're holding this 55 EMA as support, I think we're good. Really, to me, really, this is the make it or break it moment. If we are able to hold this 55 EMA as support, then I think we're good. Especially since on the daily time frame, the 21 EMA on Market Cipher A, ribbon 5, is still confirmed bullish. I still don't even see this as that big cause for concern. It's only, it's only a 15% dip. Honestly, I would be, coming down to 40,000 would give us a 38% correction, 35% correction, which is not something that's unheard of in the middle of these bull markets. The last bull market we had 40% corrections. I think we had 2 of them. And so if anything, we should just be looking at these as opportunities to get in really nice long positions. Because ever since we've been forming this wedge where we're following this trend line that's getting tighter and tighter as we go, we have not really had those nice big moves for Bitcoin that we had like back in December and back in February, where we had these massive moves to the upside, right? We're kind of having the all-time high and then coming down, and having the all-time high and then coming down. So if we get a massive correction like that and we come down to the $40,000 level, what that really would do is it would give us a lot of upward potential. It would allow us to enter a nice swing long position and hold that for some time, and take it up to those higher levels, 70K, 85K, and beyond. Another thing I want to point out, guys, is the fact that we were trading on this trend line here, right? We hit 2 all-time highs that were in line with this trend line here, and it seemed like we were actually going to retest this, but then we were unable to. We weren't able to, and now we're breaking out of that channel. But we could take this, and potentially, we could come back into this channel. We could come back into this channel, and this could just be like a fake out. This could just be a fake out, and we come back into the channel, and then come back up to the top. We'll have to see. There's a lot of things that could potentially happen. But as traders, it's our job to look at the chart, to look at our levels, look at Market Cipher, and come up with our good setups, right? Where we're entering trades at good areas, where we have very low risk to reward, very good risk to reward ratio, and we want to find good setups. So we want to be longing these lows. If we come back down to here, you definitely want to be longing, or looking for a long, I should say, looking for a long, and we don't execute unless we're getting all our confirmations on Market Cipher. That will keep us out of bad trades. Daniel Demove says, welcome to the bear market. Yeah, I agree with Scrappy Coco XXXX1. He says the only reason we're dumping is to take out longs. If they take us down to 40K, that will be more money for longs. Yep, I agree with that. Yeah, Crypto says if the weekly closes below 55K, that's not good. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. But guys, you know, weekly candles. I mean, this is actually a wild weekly candle. This is wild. This is a wild weekly candle. It's a 25% candle. There's been 25%. I mean, we have to keep in mind too, like, even if we come down to the $40,000 level, we would be getting a bounce off of the weekly 21 EMA, which would still technically keep us in an uptrend on these higher time frames, right? If we came down, we bounced, that would still keep us on an uptrend on this higher time frame. And we've been waiting for a cool off for quite some time. We've been waiting for a cool off for quite some time. We've been having the divergences form, you know. And it's hard on the weekly because sometimes we can't take those things too seriously. But usually, eventually, they do play out, and then that will give us some really good long positions. All right, let's take a look at Ethereum, y'all. Let's take a look at Ethereum. David Caballero, sorry, man, says, Jason, what is the conspiracy of they wanting to take out longs? Who is this entity? It's just people who have whales, right? Whales who have a lot of Bitcoin to buy and sell. If they want to fill large buy orders, they need to bring the price down to these zones of liquidity. And if we go to the daily time frame, these levels that I've marked out on my chart, these are areas of a lot of liquidity in the market where there's a lot of buying and selling happening. The market tends to remember these areas where there was a lot of liquid assets on the exchange, and so price will inevitably retrace to those areas. And these would be called buy zones. In fact, if you're doing technical analysis, a lot of times what I like to do, if I'm looking especially at an altcoin, like, well, Theta is a bad example. Man, Theta, though. Theta is playing with my heart, guys. Theta is playing with my heart. I thought Theta was going to break out right here, so I loaded up my Theta because I thought that we were going to break out of this kind of triangle thing. And woohoo, we did break out, but then, oh, we came down. And then woohoo, we broke out. Oh, man. Guys, I'm getting wrecked on Theta right now. I'm getting wrecked on Theta right now. I have a large bag. I know it's just because Bitcoin's dumping. I'm not really concerned. I'm not really concerned. But if you're looking at, like, for example, let me go to some of my other coins that I'm looking at here, like, for example, SOUL. This was a coin that I was really into. I was really into it. Let me come to the weekly time frame here. I was really into this because of the fact that I was expecting us to pump, and we did pump. But I drew a line of support right here, and I drew a box around it, and I said this is going to be my buy zone, before the pump. And the reason this is my buy zone is because this is the area where most of the liquidity, this is the area where most of the buying and selling is taking place for this coin, right in this box. And so they are just people who have a lot of big orders that need to get filled, and they need a lot of liquidity in the market in order for that to happen. Shout out to Lee Jam, who made over 5,000 spot trading Ethereum Classic within the past 2 days. Zerafinos says, we are forming a nice trigger wave on the 15-minute on Bitcoin. Wow, yep, look at that. Look at that. That is pretty nice. And we see a clear direction. The only thing we don't see that I would really like to see is a bullish divergence. I would like to see a bullish divergence where price is coming down and momentum is going up. But again, guys, we do see, you know, oh, this is, hang on, this is not Bitcoin. This is not Bitcoin. Oh, I see. Okay, so yeah, we're starting to print this nice, tight, clear direction. This clear direction where we're starting to see the money flow cross to the top. We're starting to print a wave higher lows. If this keeps happening, you know, if we keep printing the higher lows on the momentum, you know, this very well could be a nice M pattern that ends in a bounce, especially if the higher time frame is printing that 4-hour anchor wave on Market Cipher, that very, very low momentum wave. Things are looking quite bullish to me, at least in the short term. And when I say the short term, it's because typically we have the all-time high, we come down, and then we get a move up, but then we come down more. Right? We kind of get these areas of consolidation where we do something like this. We come down like this, like that, like this, like that, and then everyone freaks out, and then we come up even higher. That tends to be the pattern here. All right, let's take a look at Ethereum. We'll take a look at Ethereum, and shout out to Luis Rivera, who says to take a look at the course. Shout out to Luis Rivera, who says to take a look at the course. Guys, I do have a trading course. It's a comprehensive trading course that goes over everything you need to know if you're new to trading, even if you've never traded before. This will allow you to get the confidence that you need to have your own plan that you can backtest and prove to yourself to be profitable, to give you the confidence that you need as a trader to be able to find those good entries, stick to a plan, not FOMO, not trade based on emotion. It'll help you stop buying the top and selling the bottom. And I even give you 3 trading strategies that I actually use for myself, as well as teaching you how to create your own strategy. We go over risk management, mindset, all this stuff, guys, all this stuff. Also, if you don't have Market Cipher, you can get a sweet Market Cipher discount if you use this code. There is a link in the description of this video. Let's take a look at Ethereum, guys. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Also, guys, if you want to know, last night, if you guys go to youtube.com, I don't know if you've ever heard of a website called youtube.com. If you go to youtube.com and you go to the Jason Casper YouTube channel, okay, yesterday I posted a video called Simple Bitcoin Trading Strategy, how to find the best trades. This is the strategy that I use for most of the trades that I post in my Discord. The trades that I do post in my Discord, like this one for Bitcoin that I posted on Friday, it was a really nice Bitcoin trade. I think we ended up hitting all 3 of our take profits. Let me see. Yep, Bitcoin hit take profit 3. Right here. Take profit 3. I had more take profits, but I take them as I go. And mostly the strategy that I use to find those trades is in this video. Check it out. Check it out, guys. If you're new to trading, if you're new to Market Cipher, I really think this will be helpful for you. Also, I have a playlist on my channel. Free content. Free, awesome content. Where I have Market Cipher tutorials. Different strategies that I use. Different psychology videos, how to stop losing trades, how to trade patterns with Market Cipher, how to trade altcoins with Market Cipher. Very good stuff in here. Very good stuff in here if you're new. Sarge wants to know the longing tool that I use. Guys, if you don't know how to use the longing tool, it's in TradingView over here. On the left, you're going to go to Prediction and Measurement Tools, click Long Position. Go ahead and click it on the chart, and you can just predict or map out your trades, because, you know, I use TradingView for charting, and I use ByBit or Binance for my actual trading. Really, I use 3 commas. I link my Binance account to 3 commas, but this is how you're going to do it. All right, Ethereum, let's go to the 12-hour time frame. Again, guys, Ethereum is looking quite bullish as well on the 4-hour time frame. We are printing this green dot, and even though the candle's purple, guys, it's still very significant that we're printing this green anchor wave with the big green bottom on the 4-hour time frame. It's very, very significant, y'all. Now, if we go to the 12-hour time frame and I make Market Cipher be a little bit skinny, like it's on a diet, and then I just zoom out here, we can see that we were printing this massive, absolutely colossal, absolutely ginormous cyclopean architecture. How in the world were they able to build that stuff without the modern technology? We will never know, and I doubt that they will ever tell us if anybody does know, but we were forming that type of triangle right here, and when we broke out of the triangle, it was a massive breakout. In fact, let me see. How did I have this charted before? Let me see. Did I have it more like this? I think I had it more like this. I think I had it more like this. And we broke out of this massive triangle, and we surpassed the old all-time high. And let me actually go to the daily time frame. I'm going to mark out some daily levels for us. So we had, obviously, we had this level here, which was a very intense daily level. And then we had this level right here. And then we had our previous all-time high. And then we had this level here. Now, this is very significant. This is very significant, y'all. Okay, I'm specifically telling you that this is very significant. Right now, on the daily time frame, we are currently getting support at the 21 EMA for Ethereum. We had this massive wick that almost came down to the 55 EMA. If we are able to hold this as support, it is very bullish. Okay, it's very bullish. This is a very strong level of daily support because it was resistance for 6 days, almost a week. And then it was resistance again for another 2-3 days before we finally broke out of it and had this massive Ethereum FOMO rally before we had the exact opposite move, pretty much the exact same candle sizes on the way down. This kind of looks like a castle here. This is the Tower of Babel right here, the Ethereum Tower of Babel. It goes up to the heavens. What goes up must come down, guys. What goes up must come down. And so right now, I am looking to see, are we going to hold this support on the daily time frame? Very important to me. What also is very good for me to see is the fact that even though we came down to these other daily levels of support, we were unable to stay down there, at least for now. We have 5 hours left in this day. 5 hours left in this day, and we were not able to come down below the 21 EMA or this level of daily support. This is, to me, is showing strength for Ethereum. If we go down to the 4-hour, okay, we can see that even though we are below the 21 and the 55, it's important to take note that we are also on Market Cipher B forming this very poignant bottom. It's poignant. Is it not poignant? Talk about poignancy. Jack Carter is waiting for a break above 2180 and a green dot printing on the 6-hour. That's not a bad idea, Jack. That's not a bad idea. That's a good plan. Go with your plan, man. Go with your plan. So really, I'm looking to see. I'm really looking to see. Are we going to find a resting place here? It looks like we are, right? It looks like we're finding a resting place here, just like what we're doing with BTC. I'm going to go down to the lower TFs, and what do I see? What do I see? Well, I see very clear direction. I see bottoms being printed. I see consecutively higher waves. I see a money flow crossover on the 6 minute. When we go to the 12 minute, I see the same thing. I see it looks like we're going to come down and print a higher wave here. Okay? And it looks like we're going to have some more upward direction. Looks like we're going to have some more upward direction there. It's going to be slow going, though. That's the thing. It's a weekend. It's going to be slow going. There's a lot of things hanging in the balance. On the 24 minute as well, look at this clear direction, guys. I mean, this is a good sign. We're finding support in this area. We're having a clear direction upward. We can see the money flow is starting to curve upward. Yes, we're coming down a little bit, but even if we print a wave down here, right, we come down, we get another bounce off the support and move on to the upside. That's kind of the way to do it. That is kind of the way to do it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Matt Barnes, shoot me a message in Discord, okay? And I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you. Shout out to Oriol Lopez Rubio, who says the Jason Casper trading course is the best investment ever. Shout out to Ulf Jr. Af Clintonberg, who says, I heckin' love you, bro. Bro, I heckin' love you too. All the way to heck. And Beck, I love you. I don't like to say the word heck. You know? It's a weird word to me. Heck. It's a strange word. Cryptorius, any chance of getting a missionary discount on your trading course? Well, hit me up, man. Send me an email. Tell me about what you're doing. Yisrael Medinat says, so this is just flash crash and we going up, or this will be ABC correction wave and we're waiting for last wave C. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. We could still be waiting for wave C. It's very possible. Right now, the fact that Market Cipher B is showing us that we're getting a lot of upward momentum on the higher time frames and the lower time frames, and the fact that we're finding good support is showing me that we at least have some kind of upward movement here. Some kind of upward movement here. XRP, I don't really like XRP. I don't grow my own marijuana. I do not grow my own marijuana. I used to smoke quite a bit of marijuana in my day, guys, but I have since repented of that. And not that I necessarily hate anybody who does it, not that I even think there's anything wrong in and of itself, but for me, it was bondage for me, guys. It was bondage for me. Should you open a long position now? Well, I'll tell you what you should never do is go onto a YouTube channel and ask somebody if you should enter a trade. What you really should do is take a trading course. Let me recommend one I know of, the Jason Casper trading course. Okay? Of course, I'm a little bit biased. I admit I'm biased, okay? I'm biased. But this is a good course. It will make it so that you don't have to go into live YouTube chats and ask if you should enter a position. Oh, nice. Jordan is high right now. Cool, man. Cool. I'm glad that you're high right now. And make sure, you know, if you're going to be trading, that you're thinking clearly, man. You're thinking clearly. Okay, so Damon Sasso wants to know, can you show why longing last night was not a great idea? I was using support and resistance lines, but the red candles pushed through. I lost 9K, would not like to do that again. Yeah, let's take a look at that real quick. We'll go to the 12-hour time frame. We'll go to Ethereum, because I think you're probably trading Ethereum. And, yeah, so let's take a look here. Can you tell me what supports you were using to long? Because, you know, these are the dailies that I have. So, okay, let's just go through them, for example, and let's see why longing at, let's say, 55.8 was a bad idea. We're going to circle that. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Now, okay, why was this a bad idea? Well, first of all, it looked like it was, well, actually, no. When this was happening, we were getting another leg down on Market Cipher B. If we go to the lower time frames, like the 6 minute, let's kind of see what was happening there. Money flow was thick in the red as we were coming down here. It wasn't until on the 6 minute time frame we start printing these higher trigger waves that you could say, okay, maybe it would be time to long. Let's take a look at some of these other levels here. So take a look at this level of support. Well, on the lower time frames, what was happening? We were getting downward movement. We were very clearly coming down. The money flow was coming down. When money flow is coming down, you don't want to be looking for a long, even if it's a support. When we come to the support, that's why it's so important to have Market Cipher, because it will tell you if that support is going to get a bounce or not. So right now on the lower time frames, we can see money flow is coming up. This is why I'm looking for a long position, and so are many other people, because we see the upward direction. We need to wait for some more confirmations. I'm not actually going to enter a long right now, but maybe I will very soon. Like I said, it depends on what happens in this area. Depends on what happens in this area. Can I confirm that my trading course works on anyone willing to learn? You can read the testimonials on the website. You can, yeah. Shout out to Brad Carr. Sorry about the FOMO, man. The course will definitely help you not to FOMO. Hollandaise, I didn't realize that you guys were wanting me to look at Ethereum. But the same thing applies for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Julian F says money flow is low in the higher time frames. What do I think about that? Yeah, we have to remember that money flow in the higher time frames is the lower time frames are pushing through to the higher time frames. So if we're looking at something find support on the higher time frames, and then we're seeing money flow crossing up, starting on the 3 minute, then on the 6 minute, then on the 12 minute, then on the 24 minute, then eventually that's going to push through to the higher time frames as well. It's going to push through to the higher time frames as well, and so the 4 hour money flow can be a little bit lower, but if we're getting that momentum starting from the lower time frames, and it will eventually push the money flow higher on the 4 hour. But it's a balancing act. It really is a balancing act. And Market Cipher, you have to learn how to read it as a whole structure across multiple time frames. And you can't just look at one time frame. You cannot. Otherwise, you're going to get wrecked. Is it possible to join my Discord? Yeah, there's a link in the description of the video. Green dot in the 6 hour for Bitcoin. Wow. Nice, guys. I mean, I really do believe that we have a nice opportunity here in ahead of us. Nice opportunity ahead of us. I mean, we might have some volatility, right? Like this green dot on the 6 hour, right? By the time this green dot confirmed, we came down quite a bit, but then we came up. So let's keep our eyes on this, guys. Keep our eyes on this. Let's take a look back at the 4 hour. We're holding this level well. And my plan really, well, I did long earlier this morning, a scalp long from 54K, right around 54, I think 54.5 something. And I scalped it up to 55.8. I took profits out along the way, guys. That was a very nervous trade. I honestly shouldn't have traded that because I wasn't confident, but whatever. Now, what am I waiting for? I'm waiting for us to get the divergences, and this is the setup that I'm eyeing up, right? If we can confirm the 55.8 as support, and because we have all this momentum on the higher time frames, I'm looking to long. I'm looking to get into some kind of a long there. I'm looking. Israel, Medinat, I already took a look at February 22nd, but Shout out to Skylark, who got in at 52K. Good job. I was asleep, unfortunately. I was so tired. Man, I have to stop doing so much. I get too tired. Green on 12 and 18 minute. Yeah, look at that, guy. This is looking really nice. This is looking really nice. You know, I might even actually get into a position right here. Might actually get into one right now. Guys, I have to head out. I have some work to do. I have to plant some trees. Can't talk about the band I was in. Sorry, y'all. But I do pray that the Lord, Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, would bless each one of you. And yeah, this is an interesting formation happening here, right? And yeah, so receive this blessing in the name of Yeshua, the Messiah. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom, b'shem Yeshua HaMashiach Elohei Yisrael, which in English is, may the Lord, may He bless you and may He protect you. May He cause His face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. And may He lift up His face upon you and give you wholeness and peace in the name of Jesus the Messiah, the God of Israel. And I do pray for each one of you, all 1,000 of you in the chat, that the Lord God, the creator of heaven and earth, the creator of you, the sustainer of all things, would reveal Himself to you in a personal way. And I will see you guys in the next video. And hopefully we all found a really good position and can all talk about our sweet gains that we made trading this. And Quinny W asks, do I speak Hebrew? Ken, ani medaber ivrit. But not really. I speak a little Hebrew. Ani medaber ketzat ivrit. Ani lo medaber harbe ivrit. Aval ani rotze lilmod. I want to study. I want to study. I do. I know biblical Hebrew. I can read pretty well from the Tanakh. When it comes to, I can order coffee too in a restaurant in modern Hebrew. But I can't really tell you anything deep and philosophical. Yeah, amen. Yuri Mabel says, Jesus is Lord. That is the truth. Jesus is Lord. Amen. Amen. Let that be known. Let that be known. All right, guys. Peace, 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 peace.